Maclunkey! Welcome, everybody, to Maclunkey Squadron's She-Hulk Episode 1 to 4 discussion. I am joined by AJ and a returning special guest, Brutal Richard!
Hi, it me.
It me. Last spotted on our Moon Knight show.
Before mysteriously disappearing for 5 months.
And then we had your name crossed out and had Dan there for an episode because we were like, you didn't show up. We were like, where'd you go?
I was like looking at Richard's icons, like, why is he green? Then I saw we're all green. I'm like, oh, right, Hulk.
We're all green. Okay. You see, you got it. You got it. Thanks for hosting the channel, Brutal Richard. You're a rock star.
I know.
Also, I'm going to quickly mention, thank you for following Airfields. Last night we raided into Airfields after D&D. He was playing some Isle, and he was an awesome channel to watch. Honestly, he had a great energy while watching, so do go check that guy out. And thank you for following.
105 followers.
Hell yeah, baby! Gasty Gray and Azure Savage, thank you so much for the follow as well. Help us get there every step of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are here today because finally we're back after hiatus, after D&D and stuff like that. Yeah, we all had met each other except Richard. I'm sorry you were involved in this. We went and had a great time. Kaz was here, Sam East was here. It was a blast, but now we're back. Full swing of things. We missed 4 episodes of She-Hulk.
Until now.
Now we cover them. So, let's just go over it pretty much in a general sense. AJ, what would you give this show so far out of...
I fucking hate it. There is a woman leading this cast, and I don't like it.
God forbid.
So I just walked in as soon as I started saying that, so that's awkward. But no, I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the show so far a lot. Like, I feel like
enjoying it.
The first 3 episodes were, like, awesome, but the last one I felt a little iffy on, but we'll eventually get to that.
I like, there's some points in that last one where I was like, but like overall, I would honestly rate this so far like higher than most of the other ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I would still probably have it so far below like Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, but it would be maybe up there.
Yeah, like below Moon Knight for sure, but like I would say like higher than what are some of the other ones?
Loki, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier probably like this one will be a bit more than.
Yeah, I was talking about that with Till today. I honestly feel like that's the bottom of the barrel for me because that show is just kind of boring.
Which one?
Which one?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Ah.
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of nothing.
Oh, shit. Well, then buckle up, boys, because we're going to have some disagreements.
Well, Richard, how did you feel about this show?
I wrote a thing. Can I read the thing? I wrote a thing. It's short. It's short.
Absolutely.
All right, here's what I wrote. This is just my little intro to the thing, right? She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, is a triumph. It's a shining example of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe should strive to be. It is a beacon of hope for all future films and TV shows within the franchise, and is a breath of fresh air for the entire superhero genre. That's what I would say if I didn't feel like this show was a giant step backwards for superhero content and is more formulaic drivel being released by a company that thinks that writing a good female character means making everyone around her stupid, weak, or incompetent.
All right.
I told you to buckle up.
With the 4th episode, that's what I was going to kind of say. It is getting a little apparent and annoying to me that every guy in the show is like the worst. Like
all of them. All of them.
Except the one guy, except the one lawyer friend that was in, I think, the 2nd episode. Like, everyone is the worst.
And they even tried to smear him.
To put it from like a woman's point of view.
I know, and
by men.
That's kind of the problem of us coming in and saying all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, right? It's like a woman's point of view written by men. So like we don't like. I don't think they entirely understood, but like we can't say. I don't know.
Well, it was even kind of nice not to jump to the very end of the show like we kind of already are, but like with the guy that she did end up liking, even he wasn't good, and I liked that at least that they showed that.
Yeah, he was weirdly written, like really weirdly written.
Yeah, like I took him as one of those guys that was like totally like using that mentality of being good to like get what he wanted.
I think it's we are totally intimidated by this man because he is perfect in every way.
I think he had every right to feel the way he did, given that he was catfished.
I mean, she's a Hulk thing, though. Like, he knows that she has a different form, doesn't he?
It's not a secret that she's a fucking Hulk. Like,
I mean, yeah,
also,
but like,
that she has a
first time
different
chat from
personality.
Colombian Brujo, almost forgot, was resizing my watch bands. Like,
hiya, Joe.
I have no idea, but okay.
He got watches.
You got watches?
He's from my dirty place. Just ignore him.
Okay,
he's fine.
Okay. We love
How many
you over
watches
here,
you
man.
got,
Don't worry.
man?
You gotta resize your watches because you're a Hulk.
Do you have,
You're breaking your watches.
All right, let's start with episode 1. Oh, wait, Sam, what did you think?
I mean, I've been liking the show so far. I would agree to a certain extent that like it's obviously not a show for us in a way, right? Like, and that's fine because like it was the same thing that Connor said with Miss Marvel, where he's like, "This isn't for me, so I don't like it." But it's like we can still enjoy something that's not necessarily for us. I find like I've been liking it. I wouldn't go as intense as you have, Richard, per se, but I think that the MCU does its best when it tries to do a bunch of different things, and this could be like that kind of comedic, especially the self-aware comedy that it presents itself. I feel like that's where it's really hitting its stride for me. Where like this show, even doing what it's saying and saying what it's saying a lot of the time with these guys, you know that that's going to make people online upset, and I feel like the show is even playing into that. But I don't know. Like I enjoy it so far. I would give it like
in like episode 3. I think they even have like a whole fucking Twitter moment where it was like pretty much like the exact comments that we're talking about.
Bill and I were actually.
Oh no, that was genius too.
We
Because they put themselves a step ahead.
We were actually talking about that in the thing. And fun fact, guys, those were ripped from the premiere episode. Or sorry, not premiere episode. Those were ripped from the announcement trailer.
That sounds about right.
I knew it, like, because like that shit. Like as soon as I saw them, like they fucking knew what they were doing. Like they knew this shit was gonna cause.
Yeah, they're trying to get ahead of any of the negative reactions from that kind of critique.
The problem is that it's just so obviously going to happen for a lot of things, right? Like you even have it in like, not to jump into other shows, but like Game of Thrones right now and freaking Rings of Power are getting like bombed just because of certain things that are like not really relevant to me to the storytelling, you know? Like,
yeah, I don't get the hate of things nowadays. Like, why is it popular to hate on everything that's new?
Because it's not as good. It's not as good as the old things that I've been living with in my life that I love for so long.
Triggered.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, people just have these things that they love so much that they get crazy. It's insane to me. Like, we have passion, but like, I don't think that we would ever go to the extent that a lot of these people go to. Like, that's
right. Like, from my own perspective, as someone who very much dislikes this show. Yeah. I still think that, like, you know, the people who are like typing up inflammatory YouTube and Twitter comments, like they're wackos. Those are wackos. I don't like the show because I don't like the writing. It doesn't have anything to do with like a female lead. That's insane.
I would agree. Some of the writing is a little.
Yeah, like it can be a very hit or miss. Like it was like Braden was saying, where there's some jokes. Actually, this is just an MCU problem forever. Every joke isn't gonna hit, right? Like it just is so badly timed sometimes.
I've really even struggled to smile while watching this show. And just to kind of give you guys an example of where I'm sitting here, I don't like this show. However, because I missed the Moon Knight ending with you guys, but I think this show, 4 episodes in, as much as I hate it, is endlessly better than Moon Knight.
Really?
I hated Moon Knight, man. And like I wanted to. God, I wish I was there for the last one, because like I think I said in the episode before the last episode of Moon Knight that I'm waiting for a big CGI shit fest with just 2 idiot monsters fighting. Oh, and then it happened.
You would have been in love with me that episode, dude. Like, I was right, because I predicted that too. That was our big point. We were like talking like this is going to end in a CGI monster fight. However, I liked this one. I'm not going to lie.
Oh god, dude, I was like rolling over on my couch like, this is awful. Why have you done this?
Hey, I'm okay with there being a giant crocodilian sexy lady. That's all I'm saying. Like, you got like all of my things in one thing. So, giant, reptilian, like godly. Let's go.
I would like to know more about your interests in women.
I mean, hey, we can make that a whole podcast. And then ironically, my girlfriend is like tinier than me and all. She's not even a reptile. Goddamn.
She's none of the things I like. Why am I with her?
God damn it! I gotta go find myself a reptilian god.
This show as a whole for me, I know we're going by the episodic thing, but just as a whole so far, I'd rank this way above Moon Knight, but below Rings of Power.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just talking MC. Like, yeah.
No, we are.
Below
Well, I'm
Rings of
talking,
Power.
specifically, the big three things in media right now are Rings of Power, Hot D, which I'm not calling it anything other than that.
I know.
And this show, and between the big controversy between the three of them, I think House of the Dragon's fine. Rings of Power is mediocre but okay, and I think this show so far, dude, I really hate it. I really hate it.
Rings of Power is visually amazing, but
Yeah.
like misses beats otherwise sometimes for me. But I like
For
it
sure.
still. But
That's for another time, though.
yeah, that'll be on another. We might do a whole season discussion on that, or try to do week to week at this point. But there's a lot of shows right now. Is the problem. It's reminiscent of when The Boys was coming out. We were like, well, we're trying desperately to do this, folks, but we can't keep up.
There's a lot happening. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so She-Hulk opened up with, I think, a really good self-aware scene where it was just her and her like lawyer trying to do like her setup to do I can't remember what these things are called, of course, because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not very smart in that capacity, but her speech. And then setting up that like she already is the Hulk and that she turns to the camera, breaking the fourth wall like she does in the comics. And it's like, yeah, I get that you're not going to be able to pay attention. Let's go into the backstory. I already fell in love right there. That was enough.
So interestingly, I don't know how true this is. I only know what I've seen, but I've read that the show was basically restructured and rewritten, and that the first episode was actually supposed to be way later in the season, and they rewrote the show to make it the first episode, and her breaking the fourth wall is how they kind of fix that. So they have her break the fourth wall and be like, "Oh, well, let me show you how this started." Because that's actually supposed to be way later in the season, not when she's training, but like the flashback sequence.
Huh.
Don't know how true that is. Don't quote me on that.
Because like I'm trying to think of structurally how I would have like found that. I think I prefer this, yeah. If I'm being honest, like this just felt more like in the comedic flow of what it wants to do, rather than like a show like we've normally seen with the MCU, where it's like we're waiting for a reveal, kind of like a backstory thing. But getting it out of the way at the beginning, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm happy they have the fourth wall breaks at all.
Love it. I love it so much. Because to me, like, yeah, like those kind of things, those characters like Deadpool and She-Hulk, where they like talk to us, those characters can just do so much. They can do so much comedically. They can do so much for like the narrative and like actually tell you how a character's feeling in a sense.
Yeah, I was immediately kind of off put by like almost the second conversation we see is the discussion of whether Steve Rogers is a virgin. And like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not the kind of guy that's going to be like, that's not funny. But I do think like it speaks a little bit to a double standard that we have here. Like, can you imagine if this was
If
like,
that was like guys talking
if they
about
were
a girl?
talking, if they were talking about Natasha,
Yeah.
it'd be a very different conversation.
Absolutely, that is a good point to bring up for sure. Like it is a weird thing to focus on. It is annoying that in culture it's like you can jab at that kind of thing, but vice versa, it's spikes your way. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that is a very good point to make about that. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other I can't say the only other thing because there's a lot.
There's a lot of other things you didn't like.
So beyond that, there's also, and this has already been ribbed to death on Twitter and YouTube and everywhere else, but the whole thing with She-Hulk saying that she's been through she controls her anger infinitely better than the Hulk because she goes through like so much more is just like, I understand the point she's making. I do get it. And I'm not trying to like sweep under the rug what women have to deal with on a daily basis. That's not the case. But to say that to the Hulk, who has had both of his love interests die damn near in his arms, one of them did die in his arms, who has saved the world and then been shipped out of the fucking universe, to say that like he hasn't experienced as much tragedy as she has is a little like, are you serious? Like even just saying that is one thing, but for your own family to say that to you is like, I couldn't imagine saying that to someone in my family, comparing tragedies and saying like, oh, I got it way worse than you, bro.
Yeah,
That's
like
just not how
cat
people
calls
talk.
sometimes, but like then the Hulk's like, I was hunted by the army, and
I got sent to a different planet
for the last 20 fucking years of my life. I've been like fucking hunted by the army, fought fucking space gods, sent to a different planet.
Well, I'm
stressed
I
as
think
fuck,
inherently
dude.
at all what it is that like I think that they said different, like Hulk specified different. So like her whole situation is just genetically different to Hulk's. It is what I'm,
Right.
like that's what I'm interpreting. And when she says like I am handling this better than you and all that kind of stuff, I just think it's potentially, and this is going to sound bad probably, but it's probably just different and easier for her in a way. Like it's just a different form of the Hulk. Like, do you
Yeah,
guys
and
actually
that's
think
fine.
too? This is like a different point too. When she changes, do you think that that's still Jen, or do you think that that is like a different person in a way?
I think it's still Jen.
Yeah, definitely still Jen.
Really?
Hulk even
Like,
says
to
like,
me,
"Oh, you don't
like-
have another guy."
But like he says that, but I think that it sort of is another person. Like it might just be sort of similar enough that it's like her, but it's still like her being more confident, more sexy, more like
Oh yeah,
she
like, I
does
think it's
act
just
differently, and I think that that is a form of different person. But she just it's very close to her own person is what I'm saying.
yeah.
Whereas Hulk is like scientist and scary monster that wants to destroy everything, right?
Yeah, only time will tell
Maybe.
whether or not it is like a different form. I do think it's still just Jen, and I have zero issue with like their powers working a little differently because I think that's to be expected, especially since that is how it is in the comics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like I don't think they're
Different
gonna
ways
have
of
a,
handling the Hulk.
I don't think they're gonna have like a full fucking arc about just Jen trying to control her anger.
Well, but, like-
that'd be boring as shit. You know, we've already been through that with the Hulk.
I mean, kind of, but not really because we haven't really properly spent time with Hulk, I would say. But
Yeah, we
like-
only got Rage Hulk like once, like full Rage Hulk.
I would say that like there's potential for at one point in this show for shit to go south. Like even Hulk in the first episode says like if you go crazy, people will look at you differently forever. It will be a thing stuck with you. And I think that
I
that's
definitely
setting,
think that's gonna happen.
I think that
you know?
yeah, that's setting up for something that'll happen where maybe She-Hulk does lose control in a sense and goes crazy-ish. Not crazy, but like
Yeah,
breaks
not.
some
I don't
shit.
want to
Sorry, you
jump
can't
around,
use
but
the She-Hulk. That's Titania's name now.
That's true. It's true.
yeah. They said in the last episode that there was like a headline that said like monster versus monster. So it's already starting to happen. The public is starting to see her differently,
Yeah,
or at least they're going to play it off as like the trolls in public because
I think
that's what they're doing.
They need to do it hardcore though. Like they need to have a moment where it's like, oh shit, like she just did something where she hurt somebody and it's gonna fuck them over for their life. Like not to
Yeah.
go like to the boys level, but like if she like paralyzed somebody or some shit like that would be a goddamn moment
Like-
for her, you know?
I
Right.
think they should almost just drop a huge boys moment where like she just crushes someone's head.
That
And
would
it's
be
like,
amazing.
Oh shit!
But, I
Holy
mean-
fuck!
It doesn't really fit with
It doesn't fit
the
for sure.
writing of this,
not
of this
at
show.
all. Yeah, not at all.
I think that like something of the sort will happen though, where she does lose control. She won't break someone's back, yeah, but like we might see some people in the hospital or something like that after an event. Like even after in Age of Ultron, right, when like Hulk went crazy in Wakanda, there was like a few shots of the people reacting, and that's all I need. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
Just people looking at She-Hulk like she's a monster at that moment.
Well, that's why I said that it's formulaic because I feel like especially with Phase 4, Marvel has figured out exactly what to release, and I just feel like everything is the same now. You could basically swap characters out, and it's still the same general plot, and it always ends the exact same way. There's almost no stakes, nothing bad happens, everyone's okay. Here's a couple of quips for you. Did you have a good time? Like and subscribe.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this phase has been I don't know. I would almost disagree. Where it's like, sure, it's a little formulaic, but it's like everything's so random. It feels like that's my big.
Oh,
thing. It
I
just
think
doesn't
I
feel-
think that's what they're like. I think it's just all building up just for the finale, really.
I'd
Yeah.
be
I don't-
okay with
because, like,
actually.
that's what it feels like. It feels like there's nothing really for itself. It's all for something else.
Yeah, in a way, I'd be fine with like them. Yeah, well, that's pretty much what you're saying. Where like if this phase was just aimless in a way, and we were just in a break period, and we acknowledged that, and then it said that the next phase was like the beginning of some shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Right.
because this
I
does
almost-
feel
I
like
think
a
I prefer that.
transitional period where it's like we've just had Endgame. We need to breathe.
well, only time will tell if that's the case,
Yeah,
Richard.
really. Like we have to see. But Jen is a goddamn genius. I got to point out for this goddamn chopsticks and the Cheetos thing. That is
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's
really
actually
good.
Oscar Isaac.
really.
Yeah,
Seriously?
that's a joke based off of a picture of Oscar Isaac.
Oh, no
doing
shit.
that with it.
Well, that's
How
awesome.
very
Holy
meta.
shit, dude. Like, yeah, like I thought about that. I was like, oh shit, I should start doing that because that is actually genius. I don't want to have these goddamn Cheeto fingers anymore. And then they set something up a little bit in a word. I remember when we were watching this, AJ, that you and me kind of picked up on it a little bit. Me more so because I'm that stupid guy that's like, everything is gonna mean something. But like when they're talking in the car about fucking Ched or whatever, like they're like cousin Ched, like you're the only genius in the family except for Ched. And I was like, it's gonna mean something. And then we meet that guy in like the next episode, and he's a fucking idiot. So I was like, never mind.
Dude, okay, all right. I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here about that guy, right?
Okay, I don't even know.
So this is the guy that's the manager at Best Buy, right?
What?
Is that a different guy? Who are we talking about?
Who's the manager? Is there a manager of Best Buy in this
Yeah.
show? Am I watching a different
like
show?
No, it's like her cousin.
The guy at the dinner table
With the long hair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, is that the same guy we're talking about?
Okay, yeah. I didn't catch
Okay,
that.
so-
That's my part.
Well, I here's why I did, and here's why I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent, right? So this guy's a fucking dummy. So we see him, and he mentions that he's been promoted to manager at Best Buy, and they just kind of treat it like it's a joke. And like, don't get me wrong, I understand what they're doing, I guess, but here's where it kind of hits me on a little bit of a personal level. I was a manager at Best Buy for 8 years of my life, and I can say with confidence that you don't get to be a manager at a Best Buy and be an idiot at the same time. For one, it actually can be a very lucrative career. Like managers at Best Buy can make over 100K. It depends.
Well, being a manager in general is like a pretty like decent job in general, right? We shouldn't be like
it's a good job that a lot of people have.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, that's what I feel kind of bad about. It's like when they make fun of like freaking burger flippers and shit, and I'm like, well, people, you go to burger places to get your burgers, and you're making fun of these people for flipping your burgers. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Like, I think it just comes off as like really inconsiderate to like the average working Joe. Like, we can't all be fucking lawyers for the DA's office. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just a regular guy who's got a regular job. And like, sure, he's a goofy, doopy motherfucker, but like when they show him like changing the tire and he's like, oh, I don't even know what 4K is, but I know we all need it. Like, I can tell you with experience that if you are a manager at Best Buy, you can tell everybody everything about what 4K is. You have to be able to. You have to train people on that stuff. And it's a little, I guess it comes off as like insulting, I guess. Like, we're making fun of this guy for having a good job, I guess. It just, it kind of like struck a chord with me.
The writer's room had like one bad experience with a manager at Best Buy.
They were like, yeah, I'm gonna
like they
didn't on this guy.
Yeah, fuck Best Buy.
He just pasted that on everyone at Best Buy.
Right, and like at the end of the day, dude, I maintain fuck Best Buy. I quit that job for a reason, but still, like retail management is a decent job, and a lot of people work that job. You know, it's not a joke, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way when they play it off that way.
That's just a huge culture thing in general that always irks me. Yeah, I
dude,
yeah,
for sure. Like I see it. I've seen the manager at Best Buy thing in like 4 different shows. It's weird. Like Shameless did it too, where they're like, "Oh, one day you're just going to end up as a manager at Best Buy and wondering what went wrong in your life." Like, damn, why are you people attacking me like this? What did I do?
You quit.
Yeah, that's what I did. Was I took off the blue and yellow.
So let's talk about the spaceship. That's them grabbing Hulk to be like, "Yo, your son is on Sakaar."
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Like, it is nothing else. Because Young Avengers is happening to some extent.
And if they have like fucking Scar on the Young Avengers, that'd be dope.
Me and Till were talking about this. What if Avengers, whatever it is that is the first one comes out? What is the next one?
The next one is Secret Wars, isn't it?
Okay, what if that one comes out? All the parents are like bopped out, like they can't fight, and then next movie is all the young people that we've been seeing built up. That would be incredible. Richard, how do you feel about Young Avengers? Am I pissing you off?
I don't feel.
The writers team was probably from Best Buy.
Yeah, I honestly just all of the new content from Marvel coming out so far has just been it lets me down increasingly so as it goes. Like so far, every new thing that comes out, I hate more than the last thing. With the one exception being Multiverse of Madness. I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan, and I like that movie. But so far, all of the TV shows in particular,
you're like completely opposite from everyone else who's right now. Everyone hated Multiverse of Madness.
No, I mean you liked it.
I mean, I like it.
I didn't like it
but
that much. I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's what, like, a lot of people didn't like. I liked it.
I think that I'm a little biased because of my love for Sam Raimi, but also the reason I liked it is
he
because
was the
it
highlight
felt
part of it
so.
for me in a sense, because like if he didn't have his style on that movie, I'd be like,
Oh, then it would have sucked. But that's the thing is like because his style was on that movie, it made it look and feel very different to everything else Marvel has done.
You were saying, Sam, that like Multiverse of Madness, one of your least favorite things about it is that they don't go through the multiverse enough.
yeah. Well,
Really?
they don't do any. They go to like 2 universes, and
Well,
one of them
if you're saying that like it was like literally just a different title, it would have been a better movie.
pretty
I
much,
agree with that.
Pretty much.
Like their idea of going
like,
through the
they
multiverse
seriously-
is like they go through it and then they're like, "Oh wow, were we paint? Yeah, that was weird."
I
Moving
told
on.
you, AJ. I think that they should have called it something different. They should have called it like the
Yeah.
Scarlet War or something like that,
Well,
where it's like,
if
Yeah.
that's your only, if literally just the title is taken away from your love of the movie, I think that's dumb.
I don't know, but
think
it
that's
feels
stupid.
like they were kind
Yeah,
of trying to
what's up,
set
man?
up the movie as something else, though. Is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does. It at least
get where you're coming
sets up
from.
different
I just think-
expectations.
Hey, Hunter, how you doing?
I just pretty much ignore the title whenever I'm watching. That's literally judging a book by its cover.
Sure. I guess, but
That's true, but that saying exists for a reason, though.
But it's like if a book
yeah.
book was called one thing, and then it was like you're reading it, and you're like, well, this is a fucking porn book, or something like
yeah,
that.
it's like if you
50
read the
Shades of
Scarlet
Grey,
Letter
I
and you're
don't
like,
have
"Oh,
to
the
have
letter's
That's
blue."
fair enough on that, AJ. Fair enough on that front.
50 Shades of Grey. There's no paint in this at all.
Okay, but when you're on like a Marvel thing and you're trying to be straightforward, I think like it would be nice to have a good title. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they advertise it in that way, you know? They advertise it like, "Oh, it's going to be a multiversal romp," and it's just not that.
And now we're
Yeah,
in
I
like
get
the
what you're coming
multiverse
from.
saga too, which kind of irks me. That like it's like all about that, and that movie was named after it. You know what I mean? Like it just felt like it was more attached. And then Quantum Mania is where the shit's gonna go down, apparently.
Yeah.
I think
Which
that's
I'm
my
excited
biggest
for.
problem with
I'm
the
excited.
current like Phase 4 way of doing things is that it everything just feels like here's a TV show that's longer than it needs to be that exists only to set up the next movie.
Looking at Daredevil. Oh my
Daredevil, my God, slow it down,
god.
please.
What was it? 18 episodes?
18 episodes.
That's insane.
We're gonna be like literally talking about that show for half a year.
Apparently, we get Daredevil in the next episode of She-Hulk.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, fucking A.
That's
I'm hyped.
exciting.
I'm terrified. Given the way that they have treated every other male character on this show, I am so scared of what they're going to do to my boy.
I
He's
think-
got to be a good. He's got to be a good.
It's
one.
got like since it's already like an established character, I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
Like, he's
I
gonna
hope
be
so.
fine-ish because like there's already that other lawyer guy. That other lawyer guy who had the funniest joke of the whole show for me, at least so far. Maybe
was it?
another one will jog my memory when we're going through this. But like, it's when the trickster is like pretending to be him, and he runs out and he's like, "I sexually harass women." And he's like, "I don't. You guys know me." It's like the way that it's said. It's so fucking funny. Like. That fucking got me rolling when that happened. I
Like
replayed it.
I love him just like stop it, like reaching out of his fucking office. No, enough of that.
I don't. You guys know me. Like the way he says it is amazing.
I think that trickster, like I think the episode in general was pretty good, just because of the trickster fucking mimicking everyone and just getting themselves in more shit.
Yeah, see, that's what I was
Yeah.
surprised about is that when they started doing like a thing where they were gonna be like, we're gonna have a side story in each of these episodes or something. I was like, uh-oh. But that was so funny to me that I was like, all right, I like this. I almost like this more than the main story that's happening
Yeah.
right now.
I did really like how she tried to do the Asgard is a people thing.
Yes.
yeah,
dude.
yeah, it's like
That was
Don't
solid.
stand in court.
Thor's inspirational quotes don't stand up in court.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. I'll give him that.
Yeah, like
I
there are
I
good
can't help but feel like
moments.
yeah, there definitely are, and it's why I can actually still tolerate the show, even though I mostly hate it. Is because there are good moments sprinkled in there, and I think the biggest boon to the show for me personally is that it's tying together a lot of loose ends from Phase 1, and some
Yeah.
of them they're doing in a very funny way, like Hulk saying, "I was literally a different person back then."
That was
Yeah.
so funny.
That
Oh
was
my
good.
god. Maybe that's the best joke, but I don't know.
A lot of people
I did
hate,
enjoy that.
Emil Blonsky, but like I don't care, you know.
He's the cutest thing. If he becomes mean again, sure. maybe.
If he becomes a bad guy, like whatever. But like him just going through prison, be like, I just want to be a good guy. Like, because like he made a lot of fucking good points. Like, I thought I was the fucking hero. I was being thrown at this guy who's painted as a fucking villain and a monster, and I thought
That's
that
really
was
good point.
Jail. Yeah, like what's the deal here? Also,
And, like,
when he was
pointing out
Abomination,
good
he
shit.
was so cute. He like had the cutest smile. I just wanted to give him a big hug.
Yeah, I don't know. They said in the show too. They were like, I hear things with my little ears." I think he's handled pretty well. I do think he's a little too similar to what's Thor's friend, the rock guy, Korg. He's a little too similar to Korg. I think.
Almost, they got a very similar vibe.
Yeah, big time.
They should meet.
Definitely similar vibes. I bet they'd be bros for life, dude.
Oh yeah.
Let's see that movie together.
I would watch that. See, that is the future of the MCU for me.
Abomination.
Right, dude? If you give me... Well, that's kind of... I was hoping that that's what their intention was with this Phase 4 stuff, because it seemed like they just kept throwing out random shit after random shit. And my hope was like, okay, we're just going to get... They're just going to go all in and just do, like, random characters, and we get to see what they're like. But it's all got to tie back into the bigger picture, bro. All of it.
But to what
extent?
extent?
Right now, I don't even
do a bit of both. Is the thing? It's just that they.
Because
They could, but I think the problem is what is the bigger picture? What are we doing right now?
Like, I think that's what like. Well,
Kang.
I think what it's doing is like what the comics do is where they just have their own standalone sort of storylines.
Yeah.
Because like the comics, they have full fucking issues that have nothing to do with anything else in the rest of the Marvel universe.
Right. Hunter said that's what the people want, the bromance. Yo, exactly, dude.
Yeah, man.
There's a reason why Thor Ragnarok was received so well. It's because it's almost like a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
Give me more of that.
That was like the perfectly balanced movie in that regard, I think, too. Is that it was like funny and it had heart. Like it was like I cried during that movie, and yeah, like it was still making me laugh.
Like I would take I would have liked She-Hulk better if it was just like She-Hulk and Hulk adventures. Like that, I would love that so much more.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, well,
but now Hulk's off to space.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys think he's gonna be back by the end of the show, or is he just done?
I don't know. I think he's off on his own story right now.
I think he'll get an after credit scene with Scar, like we're saying, or some shit, maybe. But
Jen said he'd be back when breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, he did. Oh, she did. Sorry.
Yeah. She was like, she said that this isn't going to be one of those cameo shows where you're gonna. She was like, Hulk's not going to be in every episode, or he will. I think she called attention to that, and I think Wong had been introduced at that point.
Yeah, Wong, and then Wong was coming back.
That was probably my third favorite joke in the whole show. Is when she did that fourth wall break, where she's like, "Not a cameo every week" type show.
Except for Bruce and Emil and Wong now.
Yeah, like because I'm fine with it in this show because it seems like
that's if they bring attention to it and make a joke of it, I'm like, all right, I could let a little bit of it slide, but it's still annoying that they have just gratuitous cameos all the time.
I find it like okay in something like this if they do that though. Like if they're like this is the point of that, and whereas like in Mando season 2, it was like okay, like I get it.
Yeah, like I guess it is different because this one is like lawyer, like being a superhero sort of lawyer.
The comic that this is based off of pretty much is that, like where it's like it won't be like a big arc. It's not like a big deal, right? It's just like literally an issue of a comic where she's like, in this comic, I'm dealing with Iron Man because he's doing some bullshit law thing, and we dated, so it's really awkward, and I'm gonna walk out of his office with my goddamn clothes all ripped, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I think this show has like a serious like identity crisis where it doesn't seem to know what it wants to be or who it's for. Where it's like, is it an action show? Is it a legal show? Is it a comedy? Is it a drama? Like,
I think it's
what is this
overarching elite? It's a elite law show with just like each episode is its own little arc of.
God, I hope not, because I think that the legal stuff is like the weakest parts of the show.
I would say I would just say it's a comedy like.
It's like. I think it's a comedy law show where like the law is like just a like it's an overarching thing, but it's not the primary focus of each episode. You know what
is the type of thing called where it's like rags to riches? I wouldn't say that necessarily, but it's like a
she's already kind of rich.
Like that's what I'm saying. Kind of, it's hard, but like it's more of a story of going from not known to being super known, like super fast.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how lawyery we're gonna get entirely, like maybe we're gonna get as much as we have already, where like we get a little jokey lawyery stuff, but
Well, the
I don't know if
writers
we're
have already said in an interview that like they suck at writing legal scenes.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think that'll be better for like the Daredevil show or something like that, where like we actually see Matt kicking ass in law. Because
Yeah,
Right,
I think
right.
it's like because like what has been happening so far is like she comes up with like there's like a new thing that she needs to like go to court for. Like she needs to like protect this person in court, and then it's like, oh, this person can't really like do this thing in court because of certain laws, and then something else happens in the episode where it comes to light like, oh shit, this person is a bad guy, let's change the laws now.
Well,
You know?
like here's why the legal scenes drive me nuts though, because like we're led on to believe initially that Jen's like this hotshot lawyer that works for the DA's office, and then the first time we actually see her in court beyond the initial fight scene thing, she seems like an unconfident cat caught in a thunderstorm. Like she's terrified. She's like she seems super nervous. Like she doesn't know what she's doing, and it's like, how am I supposed to believe that you're? Yeah, and like the whole time I'm like, how am I supposed to believe that you're like a good lawyer? Like you seem like a really bad one.
I think so much was at stake there because like before that, like she literally had just gotten like fired from her job for doing something that she thought was like really right, and that this was like, if she fucks this up, apparently she's out of that place. Which in general, how do you guys feel, like, not to jump forward or like off of that, but like how do you feel about their treatment of her in general with like, you have to be She-Hulk in this situation? You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel?
Pretty standard for male lawyers.
You gotta be hulking out always. You gotta perform as a Hulk, so you know.
Yeah, I honestly hadn't really thought too hard about that. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a dude, and like I can only think within my own parameters.
See, I mean, like that was like the big thing for me of that scene immediately, where like she, like when she was told that, it was like, oh fuck, like this is kind of a little gross, even.
Yeah, it's a little slimy, but at the same time, like Hulk like tells her like this is what it's gonna be. Like you can't not be She-Hulk, you know?
Yeah,
like that's he tells her that right off the rip. Like you're gonna be a superhero. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I get where the guy is coming from, being like, this is a superhero law division, so we need the superhero to be the face.
But like she could
the way he's saying it is like the way he's addressing it to her is sort of like sort of that sort of toxic like leader man masculinity deal.
Well, I just more so mean that like
was...
she could be Jen, and then when she needs to, she can Hulk out. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I see from it.
That's what, like, I think, like, a lot of people are griping about the CG, which I get. Like, some scenes honestly look like a Sims game.
It's been getting worse and worse. That's what I'll say. I've been noticing it in the newer ones.
Sure. It's like a Sims game.
Like, the first episode...
You put a little green diamond over her head and I'm in, dude.
The first episode, she looked really good. Like, the lighting on the beach and everything was hitting her. Like, sand was falling off of her goddamn skin, and it looked amazing.
Yeah, like,
and
it
then
looks
now
great,
I'm like,
but then,
what
like,
the hell?
Well,
but then...
So, if you take a picture of a real person under fluorescent lighting, they look like shit. And now they have a CG person under fluorescent lighting. And it's like, this is just not a good atmosphere to have a CG person in.
It's just gonna look awful.
Right, like sunlight's a lot easier to work with when you're doing any kind of animation like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but like you could even feel like the increased like effectiveness of everything like in that part of the show.
I feel like her clothes look like they're made out of plastic.
Yeah, like I don't feel like they're on her body.
Yeah, it's really weird. It weirds me out every time too, because like when she hulks out and goes from Jen to She-Hulk, like Jen's wearing like a big coat. But then when she hulks out into She-Hulk, like the arms look like they're filled out, but the coat still looks big.
Yeah.
And like she grew like 4 feet.
Yeah.
Like, the coat would be up to her belly button.
I don't know if they were
See,
that's the thing, is that it's like, we're not going to show you that because we know a certain type of audience member is watching the show just for that reason. You know what I mean?
Right, and that's me. Give me that.
There's a demographic of people who just watch She-Hulk.
I want to see her belly,
just to see her
I like
skin.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. When she picked that boy up and brought him to bed, I was like, ooh.
Okay,
Richard,
you were coming at me about the goddamn big lizard thing. Like, can you goddamn check yourself?
Well, at least we both like him green, you know.
I'm telling you, dude. I agree. I like him pink. I like him green. I like him freaking blue. If there were anything like that, that would be amazing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't. The CG is so hit or miss, and it's very clear to me that like when they show her next to Hulk, that like the Hulk model has been perfected over 15 fucking years, whereas her model seems like kind of a rush job. And in some scenes, it really works. I think it works best when she's wearing spandex, like Hulk told her to do. Like when she's wearing like exercise clothes, and it's like form fitting. That looks great. But when she's wearing like the suit is when like the clothes don't look real. They look like
they
fake
don't
clothes.
look like they should be on.
Anytime
like,
she's in the office, I think is what we could say. Like that's I think what we're coming to the conclusion of here.
Yeah.
It's like anytime she's in the office,
sure.
it doesn't feel good. Like the suit
And I'm sure they're doing the
just
same thing that they've done in every other Marvel show.
Yeah.
Where like the CG will ramp up significantly towards the end.
Yeah.
Man, we'll see.
Well, I think because like I think like when they're definitely trying to focus or going to focus on some of the bigger aspects that need more CG power.
Yeah. Is there going to be like what are we building to in the show, right? Like that's my thing. Like what am I missing something?
Who's the villain?
Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna blow you guys' fucking mind right now.
Okay.
All right. So Madison with a Y and two N's, but not where you think, right? She was with Wongers.
Best nickname ever, by the way.
Great character. I loved her. She was great.
So when she was brought first to Wonger, she came from a different dimension, and in court she said that she signed a contract with a devil. Yeah. It's fucking Mephisto.
Yes. Mephisto confirmed.
It is. And I knew it too. Everyone watching.
Oh my god.
Everyone watching is thinking the exact same fucking thing. That was.
Mephisto is real, guys. He's here.
Not by name, but by fucking what's her name again? Sorry. Madison.
By Madison with a Y and two N's, but not where you think.
But not where you think.
Even she was like Mephisto because her name is already devilish.
Confirmed. You heard it here first, folks. She even like alludes like she's like I can't really go into detail. And it's like they know what they're doing.
When that happened, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I actually thought we were gonna see Mephisto and it would be his fucking appearance, but he wouldn't even be that flashy. He would just be like, "Oh shit, you got me in my devil shit. God damn it,
I thought it was gonna be that dude, the magician.
I thought his name, by the way, Donnie Blaze. Holy shit,
that's too close, dude.
Too close,
Johnny Blaze.
Too close, people.
That's
mean.
They know what they're doing, but like what I would have fucking laughed at is like if they brought in Mephisto as a witness. Yeah. He like comes.
I got her to sign the contract. It's correct.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like if we're gonna focus so much on like legal scenes, then make that shit goofy as hell. If you don't know how to write actual law scenes, and just make it stupid.
Well, especially if it's like the superhuman law thing, right? Like I feel like we should be going ham in that direction and doing as much as we can with comedy on that in the show.
Exactly.
Like, dude, that would be an amazing first Mephisto appearance. That would piss off so many people, and
that would be so good.
I do love that she's got like
camera and be like, "Yep, this is how I'm being introduced."
I love that she's got like a casual relationship with Wong now.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so creepy that Wong is watching The Sopranos when I'm trying to watch The Sopranos.
Bro, real shit. I was like, I've been like preparing to watch The Sopranos for the first time ever. Yeah. And when they were like, in the show, they're like, okay, no more Sopranos spoilers, and then she does it. I'm like, oh, you bitch, Madison.
I already know a bunch of spoilers for sure, but I feel like I just want to watch this show so badly.
This show
I feel like I am Wong here.
Hinted at a lot of characters. Like Wolverine was hinted in episode 2.
Yes, he was.
When she like was talking about Emil Blonsky and she's like looking up things, and like it was the Emil Blonsky like fight like newsreel. You can see in the corner like other news articles. One of them is a guy with metal claws beating up people in a bar.
And
I did not catch that. That's awesome.
Is that like because Wolverine's first ever appearance in comics was in like a Hulk comic, so it would be really cool. It's not gonna happen. It's too early with no casting. We would hear about it, but it'd be so goddamn cool if he showed up in the show.
And they also finally brought attention
past the expiration for Soprano spoilers. This is the Sorcerer Supreme, man. He didn't deserve that shit.
They also brought to attention finally the giant celestial sticking out of the planet in the same like sort of news article part.
I missed that too. Jesus.
It's really small. It was really
it's a blink and a miss it one for sure. Like you have to look for it.
At this point, I'm like seething with this show, so like I'm like seeing red. I can't see news articles.
You're actually trying to see.
Angry.
You should be seeing green, buddy.
Yeah, you're seeing green. But That's all I wanted. Like everyone's like, oh, what kind of thing would they even do for announcing that there's a celestial sticking on planet? Literally just that. That's all I
just
want.
need something. I just need someone to say something about it.
Like that's literally it. Is
It's
all
a
we
big
needed.
deal. Actually, can you see it from space? Like if you fly away from the planet.
Totally.
Actually, wait a minute. When Hulk left the planet, did we see Earth?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
I think he was
No.
already off. But like, if we did, I swear to God, if they had a face sticking on the planet when he was leaving Earth, I would have fucking lost it, dude. That would have been
actually
amazing.
ecstatic. We're stupid people because this is such a small thing that it doesn't really matter. But like, I would love it.
I would love it, man. That would be amazing.
It would make me go like, "Oh shit, that actually mattered." Thank you.
Dude, Wong so far is the best part of the show for me. Wong is a treasure.
Everyone loves Wong. They even said it in the show.
Yeah, he's the
Everyone
crown
loves
jewel
Wong.
of the MCU. I want a Wong TV show, please.
Just
They
some
actually,
random
in the
guy that appeared
D23
in Doctor Strange as a librarian and now is the Sorcerer Supreme and a main character.
The
and a bunch of stuff.
D23 memes have been hilarious because like a Wong one came out and I was like, I'd actually watch. Like I would seriously be on that show.
I would 100% watch that. I mean, I can't help but feel like they knew that they need a really, really likable character like Wong to be in the show to help it a little bit because forgive me here, gentlemen, but I think that Jen is incredibly unlikable. I think she's rude most of the time.
She's unlikable at times. I agree.
Right. Like sometimes I'm just like, you're supposed to be the main character and you're kind of making me feel gross.
Well, even in the
Mostly
first
to, like,
episode where
Hulk.
yeah, I was gonna say exactly. Yeah, in the first episode when she's like talking to Hulk and like being pretty like dismissive of his situation. Yeah, like we were discussing earlier. Like, okay, I don't want to be that guy, but he when she said that she's what the hell? She says I gotta find it maybe, but it was practically when she was saying that it's fine for her to go out and do what she's gonna do because she's gonna be able to do it. And I just was saying, or I was thinking, you can only do that because Hulk has made himself better.
Yeah.
And like
I hated the whole training montage too.
well, because she is only able to be that because he looks good now, and if he didn't, she'd be in a shit situation too. So he paved the way for that.
Yeah,
They can't say that in the show.
Think that
They can't.
both of their attitude in like that whole like ending of the training montage was just like really weird.
Yeah, like because I wanted them to actually say what they felt because I at least felt that Hulk was maybe just like, "Yo, you're another person that has a Hulk power. I feel connected to you now more. Like I feel like almost like I have to take care of you."
I feel like in a different reality we could be
Don't
lovers.
Don't say it. God damn it. And you know what? In Multiverse of Madness, if we see fucking hillbilly Hulks, I'm gonna scream. Actually, sorry. Not in Multiverse of Madness, in the Kang, in Secret Wars or whatever.
Yeah, in the Kang fucking dynasty. If we see fucking hillbilly Hulks and an old man Logan, I'm gonna fucking punch someone.
I will be like, I'm out. Because I don't even want to talk about what that implies.
Well, if they that training montage the whole time,
incest in the MCU.
the whole thing, that entire episode really is just She-Hulk saying and showing that she's better than Hulk. Like she literally says it out loud, and then she shows that she's better than Hulk, and then she's mean as shit to him. And then she's just like, "See you at the next family dinner, loser."
Yeah,
and
Like
he's
you
just like
you feel like a bully.
Like when
she's
she
just
left,
trying to help her out, and she's just fucking berating him the whole time.
like when she left, her last words were just really rude. Like, and I was like, "That's how you're leaving the situation?" Like, holy
Right.
hell.
That's what I'm saying. Is like these two don't come across as friends, let alone family.
That's the other thing that I have a question about, people. When exactly did these two ever come in contact, right? Like, how old were they?
Never.
You know what I mean? Like, why are they
They're
like
never gonna
so
say that.
close? They haven't seen each other in like 14 years or something like that. Like, when did they know each other?
Right?
All their
Like-
life, man. They're family.
Well, that's the thing is like they make the implication that they frequently have family dinners together, but at the same time it's like where were you when Hulk was in space?
When do I have the time?
Did you? She never even asked him like, "Hey, how was space?" Like how was being banished from the planet? There's nothing, no information on that. It's just Marvel Disney is just like hand wave, they'll get over it. And unfortunately, that's going to be the case unless you're like the super fans, the comic book nerds, guys like us are going to be the ones that question this stuff. But your average Joe is just like big green woman fun.
Exactly right. I think that I don't know.
Big room was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the her being better thing is also just debatable in the first place. Because like I think Hulk shows a couple times that he's like superior.
Well,
with the
I don't
throwing
think
the
it's, like,
boulder thing for sure.
like,
Yeah.
like definitely like in strength, but I think in like a lot of other aspects, so like being able to control her powers and
But again, like we were saying
retaining
earlier,
intelligence and all that stuff.
like that
I
could be
think
like a progression of the Hulk thing that he gave her, and like that she is
Yeah.
just handling it differently, right? Like I don't think it
Yeah.
implies better. It just is like, and again, pave the way for you to be able to do this. Because if she was Hulk, she would also have gone through a whole hell of a lot worse of a situation, right? Like
yeah,
as
Right.
like the core Hulk. But now that she has already someone there for her, it's already better. So
Well, that's why I fundamentally just don't like
you're
her
right,
as
Hunter.
a
You
character.
don't have to like family.
Oh, for sure. But that's they imply that they do though. You know?
Yeah,
They
But
do.
my big problem with her is that this character skips the entire hero's journey, and it's just like we're gonna skip all of that, all the bullshit, and just Jen is the best. She's just good, and that's it. Accept it.
I think that like she still has like a lot of room to grow in certain ways, like, and then her powers will increase. But like, I think that we're also going to see that potential rage come out, right? Like that we're talking about that we see.
I'd love to see it.
I hope
'cause
it
we're
happens,
4
'cause if it
episodes in,
doesn't-
and we still don't have a villain.
If it doesn't happen, then I will agree. I'll feel kind of like meh, because she should have a problem with the power. Like it shouldn't just be easy. I agree.
yeah.
Do you think she's going to fight Abomination in the end, or do you think that she's going to write a
No.
scathing message about how all men are evil?
If she fights Abomination, I'll cry because Emil Blonsky should be cute now.
I agree.
He's so I just can't get over because I remember the ad for the show and they showed him in the cell being all like angry, and I think that was now fake because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that scene was him growing in the smile because that would have been a spoiler kind of because that's cute as hell because it's just so wholesome. It's just the Abomination and everyone's
Yeah.
screaming and he's just holding his little. He's being so
He's like,
cute.
all right, sorry,
Sorry. Like, oh my god, like, yeah, keep him, please. I don't want him to become bad. He's got a bunch of wives to take care of.
He's got 7 wives.
Soulmates, yeah, like, dude, no, like, if they go back on that, I'd be actually kind of sad, but I'd be
I
like,
thought the
sure.
screaming was a bit much too, because I mean, the whole. Granted, look, I've never been in a situation where a giant Hulk beast is
Yeah,
breaking
he's
out of
been
a cell.
tame. Well, I mean,
but
he's
I can't. The whole time, I'm like, why are you guys screaming? He's been locked up in here for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, he can't get out unless he's wizarded out. You know?
He's wizarded up.
plot twist. The
Like-
villain was She-Hulk the whole time, and everything we know about the MCU universe is wrong. Thank you, Hunter.
Why not? At this point, why not?
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Fuck it. We're going in.
But yeah,
Um,
even on the power thing, I will say another CGI moment that looked kind of bad in the first episode was when she started doing that supersonic clap that Hulk does or whatever. That was a little goofy. I'll say that. Just the fact
Yeah,
that she
I
just
thought it
did-
was strange too that Hulk's like, "Oh, my ears."
I mean, that is, to be fair, like I think that's like his weakness in a sense. Like in the first Hulk movie, they're like hitting him with like super sonar and it's doing the same thing.
Yeah, but it's like at the same time, he just knocked her like a mile back with his clap, and she wasn't like, "My ears."
True.
You know what I mean?
You got me there.
So it's,
no.
I'm a little miffed that She-Hulk is just capable of doing everything that the Hulk spent 15 years learning how to do within a day. Not even a day, an afternoon.
I think
Just
I think it was
instantly.
like a while, wasn't it? It's not like it was probably like a couple weeks, wasn't it?
Maybe a couple. Still,
maybe a
you know, look
week
at
or
the
something
look
like
at the
that. It was-
difference.
I know, but I'm again like going back to the whole like of the progression of it, right? Like it might be like it's just different.
It feels to me like what Marvel is doing, what they've been setting up with all of their new TV shows and all of their new movies, is they are trying to phase out all the big strong male heroes and replace them with female equivalents. And it's a little jarring, I think, when every show and every movie does this.
I don't think that that's true necessarily, mainly because of something like Thor: Love and Thunder, though. Like when they had kind of an opportunity to do that, and then they chose not to.
I
Fair.
think it's mainly them like the passing of the torch for most of them.
Yeah,
To a younger, newer generation.
which I think
Yeah,
is
and
fine.
like I'm not against the idea of them, of like female superheroes taking the place. I just think it's all happening way too fast and way too obviously.
Yeah.
well, I don't know.
like,
Like I
it's
feel
like
after
everything comes out.
Endgame, it's like Endgame was some of the characters like they're done. Like we're out of here. We're like peace out. So we're gonna pass
Right.
the torch on to like, and then unfortunately you have situations like Chadwick Boseman, right, where it's like, oh, no one could have predicted that, and that is just
True,
a
true, true,
tragedy in itself. So that torch is kind of being forced on in a way, but I don't think it should take away from that movie in itself. But yeah, like
yeah, I will. I think so. The only joke in the show so far that has really actually made me laugh is when she's accosted in her driveway, I think, by the guys with like the tools. And she's like, "Did you guys rob an Asgardian construction worker?" And they're like, "Yeah."
yeah.
That actually made me laugh out loud. I'm like, okay, that's funny because all their weapons were like, one guy had like an Asgardian crowbar. What the fuck?
One guy had like an Asgardian like a hard hat.
And they show him too. He's like headbutting the air for a second, like he's trying to look threatening by headbutting. Like, what are you doing? What is this supposed to be?
Like, I think we need more of that, man. Like more just like sort of dumb humor.
For sure.
That shit shows up in the comics all the time, right? Where you're just like a random gang of kids that suddenly are like, we have Asgardian weapons somehow, and it's like,
yeah, like if they literally had Mephisto show up as a witness for Wong, I would have lost my shit. That would have been perfect.
That would have been a great way to hilarious. That character.
That would have been like, whoa. That would have been funny for the show. Would have fit like it would have been like out of nowhere, but like fit really well.
It would be big thing in the MCU suddenly. You know what I mean? Like it would literally make the show
huge
pivotal.
Thing, and it will make the fans so angry.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have loved it, man. I thought for sure that they were setting up that this dumb magician was going to be Mephisto. Like the moment he opened up like a hell portal, I'm like, wait, what are they doing? What's going on?
The whole time that problem was happening, by the way, my thing was just take the fucking sling ring. Like, they're like, we need to go to court and figure this shit out, and and I'm like, okay, when he's not looking, grab the sling ring, and you're good.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
Then Donnie Blaze becomes the victim, and yada yada yada.
Well, that's why I think that like the courtroom stuff is the weakest part of the show because none of it makes any damn sense. Like they could have just taken the ring from him. But they didn't. They had magicians doing dumb shit in court. They did the same thing with Wong, where like Wong is now a criminal, like on the run, and then the next day he comes back for court, and it's like, I guess this doesn't matter. Like, what do laws actually mean now? Do they mean anything?
Why was Wong a criminal?
Because he broke out Abomination.
Oh right.
But then the next day he shows up for court, and no one says anything about it anymore. And like we understand as the audience that like he's the Sorcerer Supreme. What are you gonna do? But if we have a superhero division of the law, then we either need to take it very seriously or we need to just take the piss out of the whole thing. And it seems like they don't know which direction they want to go.
Yeah.
Like they're totally locked into the idea that like we're kind of supposed to take the court stuff seriously, but it's also kind of goofy. I don't know. I can't get a read on it, and I honestly can't figure out who this show is for. Like I feel like this whole show, like the writing room for this show is like a bunch of like drunk soccer moms in a room that are like recently divorced. Because it's like, where are we going with this? Who is this show for? Is it for children? I don't think so. Is it for superhero fans? Maybe, I guess. Is it for women? Do women like She-Hulk? I don't know. I just can't put a beat on like who's the audience for this show.
I think it's like what I would say is just people like us who watch all of the content and like are semi-interested in like these kids. Like for example, like if a fucking Beta Ray Bill show came out, right? I'd be all over that shit. I'd be fucking all over that shit. But like, so She-Hulk I treat kind of similarly, where it's like, well, she's a character. The decrease of that is when it's a show like Echo or Agatha House of Chaos or whatever, where I'm like, okay, that's even a rung below a character that I care about from the comics, like She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a thing that's happening?
Echo and Agatha? Yeah, those are two shows.
Yeah. Like, these are characters from a show that I already did not really care about.
I like Catherine Hahn. I think she's amazing.
I like Catherine Hahn. Oh, yeah. Like her as a villain in this other show, I'm like, that's a good fit. But like her having her own show, I'm like, I don't know
why. It's like,
and then Echo is like a character that I didn't care about in a show that I didn't care about.
Yeah, exactly. It was like two things that already.
Who's Echo?
Echo was in Hawkeye.
She was in Hawkeye. She was like that deaf lady that like kidnaps.
Oh
Hawkeye.
Shit! I forgot all about her.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
like it just wasn't.
She's a girl you don't care about in a show you don't care about. So like, why would they make a show about her?
Because money.
Yeah.
That's
but like, is that viable? Because like, won't they? can't you lose money on these fucking things?
You can. You
No,
can lose a
no,
lot of
For
money.
fuck's sakes.
Not if you tie in something that's important to the overall MCU,
Oh, you're probably right. They're probably gonna
because then you have to watch
They're
it.
probably gonna bring in Mephisto.
How the hell is Echo gonna do anything?
Could
Who the
Even
hell knows,
fucking
man?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier barely did anything.
they plan it so that like Echo, like for the first like 7 episodes is the most boring shit that like they lose most of their fan base. In
Whoa.
the very last episode, they introduce Mephisto.
Did you just say Echo is gonna have 8 episodes?
I don't know, maybe.
I hope it doesn't.
I've just been going off everything else that's been coming. Oh, they have like 6, but whatever. Still,
Better be 6 or
like
lower.
for like the first like majority of the episodes is just gonna be boring shit that like loses most of the viewers, and then the very last episode is gonna have a massive thing that's gonna change the Marvel universe forever.
Some of this stuff could really. I almost hate that I'm going to say this because I was initially very much against this, but I used to think that putting Marvel stuff into a TV format is great. Now I'm starting to think like, damn, I just wish these were movies so I don't have to watch 10 freaking episodes of this nonsense.
I think like certain things need the TV treatment. I don't think like every small thing needs a TV show for
Right. Like I think like WandaVision worked as a TV show.
Absolutely.
Loki.
Loki
WandaVision
could have been
like
Loki could have been a miniseries.
It could have been,
Like
yeah.
A very small, like 3-episode miniseries is fine. Falcon and the Winter Soldier had that same feel. This would have been better as a miniseries.
3. Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
3 episodes would just condense it down and take out all the dumb fluff that we don't need.
Yeah,
It's what irks
exactly.
me about people talking about Mando needing more episodes when I'm like, dude, you bitch about filler already. You think more episodes is the answer? Like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Dude, ironically, when it comes to like the Mando stuff, I like the filler episodes better.
I know. That's what I think Mando Season 1 is like prime television, where it's like everything
for
here
sure.
felt good.
I think it's part of that's just because it feels like the shows that I grew up on, like Hercules or Xena
Yeah,
Warrior
for sure,
Princess,
for sure.
where it's just like an
Adventure
episodic
of the
show.
week kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, I love that about the first season of Mando, and I think I love that about WandaVision too, where at least in the beginning it had that feeling.
Yeah, and that's what I say too. Like, and I was talking to Till about that, where he liked, or he on his show had someone who liked the later end of the show more because it went back to like the basics, and I was like, no, that's when the show lost me and just became generic, and it was like there was a mystery that was unfolding, and if they kept that mystery for a long time, that would have been amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, on the other hand, I feel like so far, the first 4 episodes, and maybe the last couple will blow me away, but the first 4 episodes feel like you could watch them in any order, and it doesn't matter.
Well, that's like you were saying about like the old shows where like He-Man or some shit, like just the enemy of the week sort of deal.
Yeah.
Like you could just jump into any episode and like automatically know what's going on. You don't need any prior knowledge, but like that's like the same with like She-Hulk. You could just like you don't really need prior knowledge of like any other episode of the season. You can just hop in and be like, cool, it's a little thing that they're doing for Wong and matching with the Y and 2 ends.
We talked about this briefly before the stream, but like I feel like for me, someone who is increasingly disliking these shows, Disney Marvel just like rubs it in my face at the end of every episode when that big beautiful logo for the great state of Georgia pops up. And they're like, "Hey, here's a reminder that we're filming these in the state that you live in the city that you live in, loser."
I think
it fills me with rage.
I think what would do the Marvel universe good is to take same with Star Wars is to take time off, like 5 years.
Whoa, 5 years?
Yeah, like let people build up the hype for the next Marvel movie.
Well, has that worked for Star Wars in the past?
Yeah, like totally. Like when The Force Awakens came out after so long, people were fucking ecstatic. They were, and that was a great movie. I love that one. And they took time to make that a great movie.
Well, it's hard not to like that one if you like A New Hope.
Whoa, we're gonna get into that goddamn debate.
Yeah, that's for a different episode.
I love The Force Awakens.
What I'm saying is, like,
it was a magical movie to watch, honestly.
When The Force Awakens was first announced, the internet went crazy.
The aura of the internet was amazing. Like, for a time, it felt good. You know what I mean?
Which is why I think, like, because now it's just like it feels like like it feels like Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed and like Call of Duty releasing it every single year. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like this is a problem that I never thought I'd have in my entire life as a lifelong comic book fan, is I'm getting sick to shit of comic book movies.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of them.
I've been hearing people talking about superhero fatigue since like Age of Ultron, even
even now I'm starting to feel it,
I think people in general feel it, but I think that like there are still people like, I don't know, I will just watch this because it's awesome.
I think after Phase 6, they could honestly just take a long break before the next phase.
But they're not going to do that because of money. Like they're just,
I know they're not going to do that, but I think they should.
It's too much money.
I just don't think that would be even viable, because like at that point, the 5 years then, in that 5 years, something else in entertainment is going to come that just like changes the game, and then who's going to give a shit about if Marvel comes back again,
Exactly. So like if that's the staple of if it's really worth it to bring back. If something can so easily just come out of the woodworks and take over all the hype from Marvel, then like what's the point of Marvel even making these fucking movies?
I don't see how they're even going to make it to a Phase 6. I already feel like they're scraping the bottom of the barrel if they're making shows for Agatha and Echo.
Well, that's just a dumb choice based off of reception after a show. You know what I mean? Like WandaVision was successful. People liked her, and they were like, okay, well, maybe we can do something for you, Catherine Hahn. And it's like, there's no narrative. Actually, people have rumored that like it's gonna lead into fucking Fantastic Four somehow because she's like the nanny of them, but like, Jesus Christ, no.
I'm getting sick of the tie-ins, man. You got to watch everything to understand like what's going on now. Like this is the first time that we're gonna get actual Phase 4 Avengers movies where the villain is someone you wouldn't know who the fuck it was if you haven't been watching the TV shows.
Well, like think of like, for example, like Indiana Jones. The new one was just announced.
Yep.
And like even after the shitty reception from the last one, people are still excited for this one because
are they?
I think so. Yeah,
I think
so.
I'm not excited. I'm like, can we be done? Like that's one where it's like stop.
Like Harrison Ford is like 900 years old.
The last movie they fucked with aliens. Like fuck off.
Do you fuck with the war?
Do you fuck with the war?
Why can't this bitch fuck with aliens? But like, god damn, like I think that Indiana Jones should just be like, let's just settle that one. Like, and they can't because they just bought the goddamn rights or whatever. But
because like people are like, this one took its time to build up hype around
kind of brew, yeah.
So like,
I think Marvel, it helps too.
If Marvel can do the same thing, being like, all right, after Phase 6, we're gonna settle down, let it simmer, and then come back with like a huge thing. Like after 5 years, we're coming back with Iron Man, and then people were like, oh fuck, like, oh shit.
If they were gonna do that, they should have done that right after Infinity War.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing if there was actually a 5-year time skip between that and Endgame.
That would have been, oh my god, yeah, that would have been good.
Well, that's my biggest problem with like Endgame and just the Marvel formula in general is there's stakes for a minute, and then it's like all the stakes get Thanos snapped, and then
they revert it in the next movie because of a director wanting to do something different. Like that's the problem I have, and
that's the joy of the cinematic user
to an extent for sure. Like
tying everything together, it gets exhausting. Like when all that a show is just to tie in other things. It's exhausting.
I don't know if I agree, but at the same time, it just feels like consistent universe, in just different areas of the world. So it's still interesting to me. Like I don't see it as like tying things to. Sorry, what did we say this tied together in the first episode again with the Hulk? What did that do?
Scar?
No.
They tie in some of the Phase 1 like Abomination, like where the hell's Abomination been, and they also tie in like because you see in Multiverse of Madness. When Wong shows up and Abomination is just there, and you're like, "What the hell?" And then he just steps back through a portal. They explained what the hell was going on with that.
Well, that was like Shang-Chi, right? Like that's like.
Oh, was that in Shang-Chi?
Yeah, that
okay.
was
it's all a blur to me now.
Yeah, I get it.
It's all a blur.
Yeah. Like I didn't need necessarily explanation for that, but like I get what you're saying. Like that, it's connected to that now. But I think that's cool. I don't know. I like that. That's like they're using that moment as a way to be like, oh, there's like actually a legal problem that happened from this fight. So
yeah,
I don't know, like that's kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
I think some of it's just so interchangeable now. Like, just for example, I'm glad you mentioned Shang-Chi. Like, tell me the difference between Aquafina's character in Shang-Chi and She-Hulk's assistant. Because it's the
Yeah,
same character.
Yeah.
It's the exact same character.
Exactly.
And they do this a lot with Marvel now, where like there's, especially with side characters, like any sidekick or just side character
The side
is
characters
just
is
a
goofy
cardboard
hype man.
cutout. Yep, it's always this like no care in the world, goofy kind of like comedic relief character that doesn't matter. We might get a little scare at some point. Oh, are they going to die? No, they're fine. No one dies.
They never die.
Damn,
And it's the
that
same thing in
irked
every
the
movie.
Shit out of me in Thor, man. Don't even talk about that. It's alright to have references in some tie-ins, but MCU seems to be tying everything in from Wolverine to Captain America's its favorite pair of shoes. The last one was made up, but that's what it feels like.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be that like where was the tie-in? It was the post-credit scene that would loosely tie together what's coming next.
Oh, now
And
we
now
know
it's
that
like-
Captain America wasn't a virgin.
Which is,
By the
we
way,
really needed to know that.
I have to slip this in because I keep forgetting to mention this. After 14 years, by the way, they finally are bringing back Samuel Stearns from fucking Incredible Hulk into the MCU in the Falcon, the Captain America movie.
Really?
New World Order, yeah. Fucking
See,
finally.
That's exactly what I'm saying, though, is like the reaction I think from a lot of people is going to be like, who?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be for me where I'm like, fucking, where has this guy been this whole damn time?
Right. 'Cause at this point, it's been like literally like
14
15,
years,
16 14
yeah.
years. Yeah. And it's like, I don't even remember half the shit that happened in phase one.
So wait, he's going back. Is he going to be like the?
I guarantee you, here's my prediction. He's going to be the villain that he beats in the first 10 minutes. That's what I think. That's just what's gonna...
What is this in Captain America and the Winners? What was this?
Yeah, this is in. Well, they announced this at D23 that he's coming back
But yeah, where in what?
in New World Order.
Oh, okay.
Somehow Stern returned.
So I just wanted to bring that up in the middle of the Hulk thing because it's relevant because that's where he first appeared. Motherfucker.
This is there's a part of me that thinks like this is part of their long-term plan, right? So a lot of this is based on like nostalgia baiting, right? So now
is it leader
that
or is
the
it master?
MCU,
Which one is it?
say what now?
Is it leader or is it master?
I
I
don't know.
hate these fucking names, man.
1 second.
I have no idea. But now that we have like there's been 14, 15 years since the launch of the MCU, now we have a whole new generation who are going to be like, "Oh, I remember." Whereas like, folks who have been watching it the whole time who are a little bit older are just like,
Leader.
"Okay, all right." But now we have like 18-year-olds who grew up on the MCU who are going to be like, "Oh, I remember." And they nostalgia baiting.
I love me
It just-
some member berries, man. I'm not gonna
Dude,
lie.
it is-
I
it's
eat
remember
those.
cyclical,
Samuel Stearns.
I eat those by the handful.
Yeah, dude, if they just keep it going forever, infinitely, they can constantly cycle. Like the MCU can just stay fueled on member berries for eternity. Every generation is going to be like, "Oh, I remember," and they just do that infinitely.
Like they do that
They
when
never
they
have
do
to
small
stop.
stuff, and like Thor Ragnarok when like the Hulk was shirtless and you could see the little scar that the Abomination left. I remember when he fought the Abomination.
Yep. Me and my buddies were doing that, watching House of the Dragon. Like, oh, there's that place. I remember. Like, it's everything's just nostalgia bait now. It's so weird that Game of Thrones is nostalgia now.
Yeah.
Overall, though, man, I'm still watching She-Hulk. I'm not bored with it like I was with Moon Knight, but I'm gonna go ahead and call this now, just like I did with Moon Knight last episode. Big CGI shit fest.
But like, who's she gonna fight?
Like, who's gonna fight?
Men.
He's gonna fight those cat collars that she was talking about. In the
All,
first episode.
every man on
'cause
Earth
I
is gonna
think
get a Hulk
They have been
thing.
building up like maybe a secret villain because like there's those construction worker guys or like the people with the shit. We're trying to get her blood for someone.
Oh
True.
right, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So someone's trying to get her blood. Do you think it's like Red Hulk?
Well, that would be unfortunately too. I learned today that I totally forgot that William Hurt passed. Maybe
He
maybe
passed
they
away,
recast
yeah.
him, but like, or maybe he just shows up as Red Hulk and they don't really have to do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like that would probably honestly that would be the best way to handle that situation, but I don't think it would work
I hope it's not Red Hulk, man. The problem with Hulk and the Hulk universe is that it has the same problem that like the Flash
gonna
has.
be introduced in Secret War. Yeah, I hope so.
Like the Jedi's in Secret War. The Flash has the problem where like, okay, we need a Flash villain. Who do we get? Another speedster.
Let's do the Flash, but they're faster.
Yeah, and like not the Hulk's the same way. Like Hulk monsters or like Hulk villains are like, well, make them fight a big monster.
Yeah, a monster that's big and stronger than the Hulk, and he also has like fire powers because he's red.
Yeah. So I wonder who the villain's going to be. I think it's going to be Abomination.
I don't think it's going to be Abomination. I think it might be like some person that we just have not been introduced
maybe
to
it
yet.
is freaking Titania. Like maybe she is like the big bad.
Maybe she's just the final big bad. That could be it. You know,
like maybe they fight again, and it's like, okay, like I've boosted my power.
And Shadow points on this, so I'm using it. That's my face, man.
Oh man, yeah, but just a little note too at the end of the second episode that I really liked when Hulk and her are on the call and shit, and she's trying to convince him to, or just pretty much be like okay with the fact that she's going to represent Blonsky. Love the fact that like her boss is like earlier in the episode like, I don't joke, but when like he's on the phone with her, he's like, you might want to turn on the TV, and I'm like, yeah, he's not joking, but it's just fucking hilarious timing, dude. Like,
I mean, can we talk about Megan Thee Stallion teaching She-Hulk how to twerk?
I was waiting for someone to bring it up.
That was. How do you feel about that in general? Like, okay,
I hated it.
I fucking hated that scene.
I don't give a shit about that scene. Like, god damn it, people are insane to me.
I hated it in every way.
So like ridiculously unnecessary. Like,
yeah, it's like
you could
it's
say
out of
that
place.
about like
it's
everything in this show.
Yeah, but like this one, like even bringing in Megan Thee Stallion for no fucking reason
because she impersonated Megan Thee Stallion.
They could have been literally anyone else.
Well, like, what do you mean? Then it would have been like Rihanna, and you'd be saying the same thing about Rihanna.
I don't know, man.
It could have been like an in-universe superhero. Like, oh, like this person was imitating fucking Donnie Blaze, who they introduced next episode.
Do you think Megan Thee Stallion is going to be twerking with a real-life lawyer? Like, nah, dude.
No,
people don't work like that.
Well, for sure.
Do you really think
this
Megan
is
Thee
not a real life
Stallion's gonna act like
situation?
this in a
It's
real
true.
life situation?
She's acting like Megan Thee Stallion. It's like a flared up version.
Well, then I fucking hate Megan
like,
Thee Stallion.
Okay, then that's fine. You guys can hate her if you want. I thought it was kind of funny.
I actually like her.
Hey,
so
look,
one of my notes is that I love the show soundtrack.
What could I say? Okay, I'm sorry that I was into it. Jesus.
One of the things that I like about this show, it's in my notes, is that I'm a huge hip hop head, and I like the music in this show. It's great. I'm a big fan of Megan Thee Stallion. Really, but that scene was what made me write down like, who is this show for? Is that a scene for children? Is that a scene for men? Is that a scene for women? Who is that for other than the 38-year-old wine mom that thought it was funny?
That scene specifically was for literally no one.
Right, like, it was for the writers.
Like, the women probably hated it. The fucking men thought it was weird. Children aren't going to watch that shit. They're not going to know what's happening. It was
just a really strange scene. The whole time I'm seeing it, I'm like, why are we even doing this? Yeah. Why does this even need to be here? Because it's not like, it's not sexy. It's weird. It's not like it's not even funny. It's just like, where is this coming from? That's
Sam,
fair.
Like when She-Hulk was twerking, it literally looked like fucking a turkey was just jiggling around.
It looks like if you were to take an action figure and just bend it over.
I won't lie, I wasn't looking that closely. I don't know.
CG made it look really weird.
Okay, well, again, she just looks bad in a lot of shots in general. So I think
they took like the fucking the FIFA 22 sort of manager debate and made it into a character that twerks. Like that's all they did.
Yeah, like when I said like it's not sexy, what I mean is like it's not done in a way where it's supposed to look sexy. You know, they're not like out there twerking in like G-strings. They're wearing suits in a lawyer's office. So it's not intentionally there to look sexy. So what is it? What is the intention of this scene?
Well, I think it
didn't strike me as funny.
I think it's supposed to be stupid. I mean, I don't know if that's like sometimes things I think could be stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think that was like just put there to be like, look at how goofy and stupid this shit is. This is the good stuff right here. Thanks, Hunter. That's true. This is what you're hearing heroes talk about. Just how twerking on the She-Hulk was effective.
Yeah, just three grown men just sitting here talking about a CG character twerking. Yeah, it's very hard for me to like let down my my steely nerd shield and be like, this is fun. I just can't. I just look at that and I'm like, this is not fun. This is stupid. This is stupid.
Like, I like the show, but that part specifically was like, what the fuck?
That shit took me right out, man. Took me right out of the show.
Because honestly, it looked like a fucking shitty YouTube shitpost. Like,
it looked like an SNL skit.
Yeah.
Like, this is a scene that you'd see if, like, Megan Thee Stallion was hosting SNL and they dressed up like one of the female cast members as She-Hulk. Like, it's just like, what? I don't understand this scene. It's just really weird. So that was a thing. The internet is a buzz about
yeah,
that.
they're
right
like
now.
only talking about that shit. And I'm like, yeah, of course.
It's such a huge mixture too. I mean, everything is like this nowadays, but it's like it's either like really angry, like Andrew Tate, like incel types that are like, this scene is stupid and gross and I hate women, or it's like a bunch of like, yes, queen, twerk in the office. Like, there's no one's like, whatever. Everyone's got a strong opinion on that scene.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I just do not care.
That's how I just vape like a motherfucker. that's how I feel
much
about
you
the
needed
entire
that.
show. Dude, I need it. Like, that scene made me have a full on Nick fit, dude. like that's I don't even know where to go with this. It's a weird scene that I thought was strange and almost out of character.
Yeah.
The whole thing is strange though. I can't help but think that, and I know I've said this a couple times.
Hey,
forgive
Jackson,
me, but
what did you think about She-Hulk? You don't know?
yep,
Come over here, bud.
agreed.
You got to say that into the microphone here. What did you think about She-Hulk, bud?
I don't know.
You don't know? No?
I feel ready.
No, that's the
Check
answer.
this out, buddy. Check this out. What do you think about this?
That's cool.
That's cool? You think it's cool?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, go watch me.
See, so Richard, you're getting told
Yeah.
by a little kid. So
Oh well,
He likes it.
what am I to do?
you're not even wet, dude. You're like soppy. What do you...
I talking about like the twerking. Did you show him the twerking She-Hulk? Well, that was my point too,
we're on the
because
last
kids don't even know what that is.
episode.
That's the thing. Is like, it's not for kids. I want to know
because they don't know what the fuck that is.
where the hell does She-Hulk live? Where every single man in the tri-state area is like an evil monster or like a sexual predator. Like, where is she? Why is every dude in the area so shitty?
Let's go outside and we'll wait for Sam.
Like, at the end of the day, I'm a dude. I have a dude's perspective. But I've never experienced that kind of stuff personally, obviously because I'm a dude, but also because I just don't see that happening even with my female friends.
Yeah.
Sorry
Maybe
about
it's
that, folks.
'cause
That
a
was
guy
my,
is with him.
my little buddy Jackson just came in. So
But Sam, you showing Jackson doesn't prove anything because I literally said earlier that like kids, it's not for kids because they don't know what the fuck that's happening.
I was joking
kids
with
don't know
that.
what it
I was joking with that when I did that. Of course, it's a 3-year-old. Sorry, what were we talking about there?
I brought up the tri-state area.
Tri-state area. What the hell?
So, okay, I want to know where exactly in I guess New York / Atlanta, She-Hulk lives, where every single man in the tri-state area is an evil person or a monster or a shithead or a sexual predator.
Yeah, because seriously,
it's
like that
everyone
fourth
she
episode,
interacts with.
this is the episode that I actually was like, okay, I'm getting a little like, I get it, show. You're trying to like tell me that guys suck, but
Yeah, they're hammering it in way too hard.
way
though.
too hard at a point where it's like, okay, people aren't like this really. Like, yeah, people are like this, but like,
I don't
Not
think
in
it's, like,
those kind of
damn.
numbers.
Yeah, like,
you don't get to the date. If they're like, I don't know, maybe you do, but like, I don't know. I wouldn't
we
get on a
can't say
date with
anything,
someone
but like,
if I hadn't talked to them enough. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess dating is just like that, where you match with someone and you're like, want to meet up here? Sure. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's one of my issues, right? So we see, like we were talking about earlier, like the new boss is like, you have to be She-Hulk. We want you to be She-Hulk when you're doing this. And that comes off as like a creepy, like appearance-based kind of thing. But at the same time, when she's dating, she chooses that one dude because she's like, oh, hot doctor.
Yeah.
And it's
true,
like,
yeah.
well, you chose
if
him
that was
based
the-
off of his appearance,
If that was the other way around,
right?
would've
Like
got
it's
shit on.
the show's like it just feels like a hard overcorrection that is like they've turned so far in one direction that it's circled back on itself, and like the
Also-
message is lost when you're doing it yourself.
Not to take away from the serious part, but I actually thought that Donnie Blaze's like mentor dude was also going to be Mephisto. Not gonna lie, because he was
Or
like
his lawyer.
he was like the creepy guy with like the top hat all the time, and I was like, oh shit, like he's gonna be fucking revealed as Mephisto, and he's at the circus, like that's how it all happened, and he's gonna meet Johnny Blaze, his brother.
his brother was his brother the whole time.
Johnny Blaze is just his brother and is also in entertainment, but does like motorcycle.
Yeah, it does stunts.
Yeah, look,
So goddamn cool.
I hate this show, boys. I hate it. I want to like it. I do. It's keeping me watching it, but I'm like hate watching it now.
Yeah, I'm not hate watching it at all, but I mean, like, I'm watching, and this episode, I'm like, if you keep doing this, I might be a little bit like, eh. But
Well, like this is the same with like Kenobi, where I was like the first few episodes I was like, what the fuck are they doing? But then the last two episodes is like, god damn, bravo,
Yeah.
amazing. Like,
well, I mean, like, we were, but I mean, like, yeah, sure, like, this, just some episodes aren't going to be always good, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's always just the likelihood, because I like the first three, or right, yeah, the first three, and then the fourth, eh. But I don't know, there were moments even in this fourth one that I enjoyed, like when She-Hulk was called to action by Wong to fight like the demon things. I was like, this is fun. I enjoy this, but
It was fun, but I can't help but like wonder like why he needed her. Like, why does Wong need She-Hulk of all people to help with this problem? Why can't he
doesn't he have,
just
like,
speed
other
dial
sorcerers?
Doctor Strange
Yeah.
or any other sorcerer, like anyone with more qualifications to deal with a demonic threat than She-Hulk, who's been a superhero for a week? And then that whole scene, she doesn't really do anything.
yeah, she just beats
She's
him
kinda-
up and throws him.
Yeah, and like it starts off with him like he's using like a whip and is like one by one grabbing them and throwing them in. And then it seems like as it goes on, he's like, all right, fuck this. And he just makes a giant net and then does a tornado. And it's like, what did you need She-Hulk for? Other than to just sprinkle in some more Wong action, you know?
yeah,
Which I'm fine with because I fucking love Wong. I would watch him in anything. But
more wigwam.
it's like, what is this? That's how that sums up my general feelings for this entire show.
Yeah.
Is what is this and why did we need it?
Well, we're kind of coming to the end, I'd say, honestly, like, because really, like, I'm all I can say going forward now is that, like, I'm excited to see more of Titania because I was really worried that, because, like, I remember when we were watching the first episode, AJ, and I was like, it's her, and you were like already like, don't be too excited. She just gets like done away with right away, and I was like, damn it, I love that actress, yeah, because she's from The Good Place, and I'm really excited to see her like in this role, so I hope it's a thing. So
I'm glad at least that they're bringing her back because when they showed her, it was like she's there. They do a quick cut to her like already halfway through throwing a desk, and then she gets bodied, and then we're done.
Yeah, and then we're done.
Like, all right.
Oh, okay. See you, I guess.
Wow, that's it. Okay. I don't think I have anything else to say about She-Hulk.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much like, I feel like we covered, we didn't even go through it properly, but I feel like we went through and talked about it enough that it made sense.
It's all been one episode for me.
Yeah, plus, like, by next week, then we're going to have a proper, like, actual episode just to talk about in full, where it'll be more like 45 to an hour long. So,
Yeah,
it'll be a tighter little thing. But yeah, Richard, do you want to talk about who you are and where you're at?
Nah.
Nah?
Okay. Listen, if you like the way that I sound and the way that I talk about things, and you like Dungeons and Dragons content, come to my channel. If you don't want to come to my channel, it's okay. I'm not your dad. I don't want to tell you what to do. But if you don't come to my channel, I'll have bad things to say about you later.
Yeah, I would highly recommend going to see Richard's channel. It is one of my favorite Twitch channels to watch. He's super entertaining, always a blast. He's got a great community of people always messing with him. So
Bunch of assholes.
definitely give him a visit. The next thing that we're probably going to be doing, I'm trying to figure out a day for us to talk about the first, I think it'll be 4 episodes by then. Yeah, four episodes of House of the Dragon.
Mhm.
Which that'll, I think, be probably a pretty positive show. But
Likely.
it'll probably be better than season 8 of Game of Thrones. So that's all I need. So fucking hell.
Oh, don't even.
bar is
We'll
low.
save that. We'll save that for that show.
Yeah. All right. Let's find someone to raid into.
So Babu Frick's gonna be Mandalorian season 3.
What? I mean, sure, that's cool.
Huh?
Oh, because the trailer came up for that too, didn't it? Oh man. D23 are too much all at once, dude.
I can't
we're
keep
gonna
up with
be-
that all.
We're gonna be rating Roll with Advantage. Checking out their D&D stream. We're gonna put the raid message in 1 second.
Good folks.
Richard talks bad about you even if you join a stream. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. That's how I roll.
I don't know, man. He's pretty. He talks to me nice in chat.
I refer to it as gentle negging.
Because guys, I don't know if you know this, but Brutal Richard, he's a bean.
I don't like that one bit. I resent Kaz for that.
Make sure you bring it up to him in
I thought it was
in
an
his chat.
egg.
He's a bean.
Yeah, that's my chat says egg. Kaz's chat says bean. Forget it. I don't want to have this conversation.
Well, we should, because it's a worthy conversation to be had.
Initiate the raid. Get me out of here.
No,
Just a little bean.
we're gonna make it last as long as possible now.
All right.
How's your guys?
Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you had a great time.
Maclunkey.
Maclunkey. Oh shit. I never know when you guys are going to do it. You're so much better at that than I
You
am.
can just do it whenever. Like, it's not even mattering right now. Like, you can say it right now again.
Maclunkey. Fuck. I did
shit.
it again. Damn it.
You,
Oh,
damn it.
God. Maclunkey.
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 All right, we're off there, right?
That was fun. Yeah.
All right.